Found it.
All right, welcome to the garage, guys.
Thanks, man.
Levi,
Thank you.
Anthony, IK9s. Anthony just brought it back. I punted it in the woods back there. He just brought it back.
Yeah, I think I'll find it out.
Thanks for digging it out. We dusted it off a little bit here.
Between a bush and a hard place, yeah.
So this is, you know, I'm sharing day in the life, right? So I'm sharing my life day in, day out in my garage and what's going on. And if you haven't gotten a sense of this, like I don't make this crap up. Like I don't contrive stuff. I just use it. And the first several years of my videos were me sharing what I already knew.
Yeah.
Right. So it was the stuff that I knew, the stuff that I had been using and had used for either months or weeks or years, in most cases. And so you've seen me kind of evolve as I've run out of stuff because I don't know all that much.
Right.
So I've run out of stuff, and so I'm constantly doing new things like learning how to take the wheels off my GT3 and put them back on, and some of the mistakes you make along the way. And I like to think I'm man enough to share that.
Yeah.
And so you guys had, we talked 6 months ago about IK foamers. I said, I'm really interested in it. A lot of what I'm interested in is the idea of being able to foam for wheels.
Yeah.
And so I can get some, some better dwell time. My buddy Phil, Auto Fanatics, developing this wheel cleaner that people are going nutty over. I don't really have a problem with the wheel cleaners that I'm using, but hey, if something's better, I'm all ears. And so that led me to call you guys and say, hey, I know you guys have spent a lot of time on these things and figuring them out. And so I said, let's figure out how to use these things. Get me some of these.
Yes. Yeah.
So I didn't think about the whole using part until I got them and was sitting here. I'm like, wait a second, I don't know how to use this thing.
Well,
I know there are issues with dilution.
You didn't ask the bad question first, which was, does it take batteries?
Yeah.
I get that a lot. So thank you for not asking.
I just assumed pump, go.
Yeah.
I assumed it was just put the soap in it, put the solution in it, go. And then so I had them sitting here, and I'm like, I better go watch some videos. So I watched every video you had, and clearly that didn't help because I didn't freaking use it right. So the first time I used it, I did I think I did 5-to-1 dilution.
Yeah.
And then I tried a couple of the different nozzles.
Yeah.
And so what I'd like to do today is let's learn how to use it. I'm not afraid to admit that I don't know what the heck I'm doing with them. And the question I have is, do I care enough to, do I want these bad enough to learn? Not learn, but perfect.
Right.
I always want to learn, but perfect. And so what you guys are going to answer for me today is, one, how do we use it? So we're going to start from the beginning and treat me like I'm an idiot. And then we're going to talk about can I throw some stuff in this and use it quickly, or or is it always going to be this big, long, drastic learning curve of issues?
Yeah,
and
it shouldn't.
That's the question that I have. So hopefully we'll be able to answer here today. So what do we start with? Let's start with the little one.
Okay.
This is the one that interests me the most.
Yeah.
This one just isn't as pretty. This is pretty, I can put this.
It's cute, yeah.
I can put an Obsessed Garage little bolt on there. It'd be sweet, and it's clean and it's the right proportions, and I just like this. But I suspect that this is going to be the better solution for
what you're trying to do.
Yeah, because the other issue I'm having with this is getting in the wheel wells, because obviously we're limited in shortness here, and so the wand is probably preferred. So IK 1.5. This is the foamer. This is the regular
multi.
thing.
Yep.
The multi. I don't really see as big of a need. So this I would use for probably O&R.
Yeah, correct.
Beadmaker O&R.
Beadmaker and O&R are the two things I put in mine.
Levi
I call it
calls
God mode.
God.
When you put Beadmaker in an IK multi, it uses
a lot of product,
burn a lot of Beadmaker, but it's pretty fun.
It's easier on the fingers, right?
Well, and for me, I have really bad arthritis, so that was one of the reasons when we first set out to look for a pressure sprayer was for me, I can't pull a trigger anymore. That's
if they're
just,
pulling the whole car,
Yeah,
like for
that's-
iron out or something.
yeah,
like that,
I just
the wheels
can't. I
are-
can't do it anymore. And so when we went to SEMA, that was one of the things I said to Anthony was be on the lookout for pump sprayers. That would be awesome. And sure enough, he went out on his fact-finding mission, came back and was like, oh my gosh, I found the best pump sprayer. I found the best one, and they also make a foaming one. And that shocked me because I've had a gamut. I've had the high-end Worth pressure sprayer that doesn't hold. I mean, maybe it holds less than 20 ounces of fluid, and I burned through those too fast. I hated having to refill them. So having something in a 35, 36 ounce bottle worked really well, and I like that because I can pump it up. I can just hit the button and go. So for O&R, which is something I use a lot of, it works great for me. For maybe a degreaser of some sort or something that someone's going to be using on an engine or something, because it just works better.
I think I'd be,
especially for home use.
I think I'd be inclined 9 times out of 10 or more is to foam.
Yeah.
Like otherwise, I'm gonna grab a sprayer.
Right.
I don't have a, I don't have carpal tunnel or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm gonna grab a spray bottle, and I'm such a big fan of spray bottles and getting matching ones and having it lined
Yeah.
up. So let's focus on this one.
Okay.
So first thing, I swear I saw it somewhere that you couldn't pull this. Well, to release the pressure, pull the frickin'
Yeah, you pulled up.
instead of me doing one of these,
Yeah.
hiding it behind, hoping I
sticking
don't spray
it in
myself.
ice.
So first thing, pull that.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
What about this? You saw me in the videos playing with this. I'm trying to change the amount of foam I'm getting by twisting. That doesn't do anything, right?
Yep.
So I learned that. Right? So does this
Biggest thing in there is the filter.
Okay. So that's the part I didn't take it apart to even find
Yeah.
out. So the white filter is in there.
So there's a little white filter that goes in there, and that just filters the water in your system. Now, if that's like the number one thing, if your IK is not working, check your filter.
Do I
Make
need
sure
that
it's
filter?
clean.
Can I just take it out?
No, you need
You
it.
need
Yeah,
the filter.
You need it, yeah.
So
What happens if I do it? It just dribbles out?
It'll just,
Yeah.
it'll just like a gushing, mushy
Okay.
It
mess.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
So where is that freaking thing? It's behind the
So
filter.
literally, yeah, it's just right behind the tip there. You can see it's just right inside.
Okay.
the-
just down inside there. And so to replace that, typically what you'd use is like a pair of like needle nose pliers, or you can use a nail.
I'd probably use a
You
pick.
got one of your dental picks.
Yep,
There you go.
perfect. So we'll just do that, and you just grab that, and we will just pull that out. Yep, there's that. And so looking at it, I mean,
touch
besides me just dropping it on the ground here, so I mean, it wasn't that dirty, but these filters should be lasting you months. I mean, realistically, on the foamers that we have back at the TRC HQ, we haven't even replaced the filters. Out of all the uses,
Okay,
all the
I
videos
like
we've
that.
made, we haven't replaced the filters.
Yeah.
And a lot of people get really stuck on that, and they think, okay, I'm using all these caustic chemicals, or I'm using all these different type of wheel cleaners, degreasers, APCs. I need to be changing these out constantly, especially if you're using different chemicals in there and changing them out. So let's just say you're going from a car wash soap to an APC or a degreaser, right? They get really concerned with the cross-contamination, right? Realistically, when you clean this out, all it is just a little cotton foam filter. You can rinse it with water. It's going to clean itself out. You're not going to continue. You know what I'm saying?
I
That
probably,
cross-contamination
I
isn't
mean,
gonna
if
be
I was
as
going
bad.
to switch from wheel cleaner to APC, I wouldn't even freaking change it.
No, and you shouldn't. And
you wouldn't
shouldn't.
need to. The
In
key
the
is
first
just,
2 seconds, your APC is going to,
Yeah.
blow through whatever wheel cleaner was left over on that thing.
Correct. So down inside here, you can see this little plastic piece down in here. Nothing special. This literally just lodges itself, and we're just gonna kind of use
So-
that pick to push it down
So
inside.
in other words, the 8 that it comes with is going to be fine. Gonna
Oh,
hold me
those
over
will-
for
should be a life-
several years.
You shouldn't ever have
the
to.
only issue we have are detailers who are using them as actual like professional tools. They maybe they're detailing 4 or 5 cars a day out of and using
Okay.
these.
I'm clearly not.
Those are the guys those are the ones that do have to replace their filters, and even then they're going through a full set of filters in 3 to 6 months.
Got it.
So this whole nozzle section, this is something. Once you set it, it's a set it and forget it. Don't touch it.
Like,
Literally do not touch it. So,
Okay.
for example, like I did see you playing with this area, during the video.
I was treating it like a spray bottle.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, maybe I can get better foam.
No, multi you can do that with.
Okay.
Correct. So with the Foam 1.5, you have no how do I explain this? You cannot change how wide or how narrow the stream is. All you can change is whether it's vertical or horizontal spray.
Think about it like a pressure washer. You can't adjust like a fixed tip.
Yeah,
This
well,
is like a fixed pressure washer
Yeah,
tip.
yeah.
Where it's kind of like like a cheap pressure washer. They'll have a fan tip.
Yep.
You can adjust it. This doesn't have that. This is just so I could either turn it to horizontal or vertical,
Correct, and that's
or wonky.
That's it.
So set it to vertical,
Set it
call it a
vertical.
day.
And the hard part is because I'm kind of very picky and very a little obsessive about this. It's when you have to hold it and then you have to crank it down. Otherwise, you'll have a diagonal spray, and that kind of bothers me. And so I either like to have it horizontal or vertical, and that, rather than have it wonky or anything.
Got it. Okay. So that's simple. So I don't need to mess with that other than if I'm going to change out the
Yeah,
filter.
just make sure your tips are tight too, because that's a leak point. Because you got to remember, you got three things: you got product, water, and air.
Yeah. So the multi-canister and the foam canister are the same. So these bottom portions are the same. They have
So you
cross
could
compatibility.
interchange, right?
Yeah. So typically when people buy both the multi and the foam 1.5 in like a package together, it's kind of nice because if you do happen to have all-purpose cleaner in the multi-sprayer and you have car wash shampoo and the foam 1.5 and you want to just interchange really quick, you can.
Do we have a lid yet for it?
So
We're
that
working
I
on
think
that.
that's in the process. I think
Okay.
that is in the process, and we've.
Because I could get down with that if I had a lid.
And so, and the idea was, having lids and having extra canisters to where you could store product within those canisters.
Yeah.
So
But I could just take this out, dunk it in my wash bucket
Yeah.
as I'm finishing, call it a
just
day.
clean it off.
Yep.
So down inside here, so this tube, a lot of people overthink this. When I tell them that they should be cleaning it out with water after every use or after every couple of uses, which you don't always have to do. I mean, I'm just
I'm
trying
never
to.
going to do that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to tell people that when they store this thing with pressure in it, with a caustic chemical, nothing is going to last at, in that rate, right? If you had just a trigger sprayer and that was holding a ton of pressure with a caustic chemical in it, it's going to wear things out, right? So I just tell people release the pressure, right? But when it comes to cleaning, when I tell people to clean it, they think, I'm gonna pop this tube off and I'm gonna take all this stuff out. I'm gonna take all these, don't do that. You don't need to ever do that. You never need to pop this tube off. It does come off, but you don't need to do it.
What is that tube? That's
So
pressure
this is
gauge.
just what
That's your pump.
that's your pump. So down inside here is your tips. So people also get confused when we tell them that it comes with 3 different tips for providing different types of foam. You have your standard, you have your dry, and you have your wet foam. Now they think tip physically. When I say tip, they think it's just a purple tip. I don't have a green, I don't have an orange, I don't have a gray. I say, no, that's not the tip we're talking about. We're talking about down here.
Yeah.
So this
That's
right
fine
here.
with those. All right, so the green is worthless.
So the green typically, so the dry foam, I tell people this is going to be best for interiors. So on a haggard car, on a car that you're doing a deep clean on, you do want to foam sometimes an interior cleaner, or you want to foam an all-purpose cleaner, mainly for the fact that it's not going to completely drench the seat, and it's going to allow you to build a lather and wipe it off with
You're gonna
microfiber
get
towel.
more product, less water.
Yeah, I'm never going to do that. Skip that.
Okay, so you're never
Pump
going to
that.
okay. So we're going to set that aside.
I
So
don't
the-
eat cheeseburgers in my car, Anthony. Come on.
Okay, all right, hey, just checking. Okay, so the orange tip here, this is the wet foam tip.
Okay.
This is actually my favorite.
That's what everybody says. Right?
So
And
the
then gray
gray-
is the standard.
The standard,
It's just standard.
it just
The reason why I
standard.
went back to gray is because the orange lasted about a millisecond for me, and then I went back to gray.
That's what we're gonna try to fix. So the
So we're gonna put
orange
orange
tip-
on.
Yeah, we're gonna take this off. This simply just pops off.
Yeah.
Don't have to overthink it.
So the orange is going to be.
Everybody likes orange the best.
It's
So
going to be a more wet foam because it's going to have more water and
Then this right
less
here.
product and more air.
Just plug and play. It just clicks right in.
push it in, good to go.
Bam.
Got it.
And other than that, that's it.
So now it comes down to dilution.
Comes out of dilution. Yeah. So I believe now watching your video, right? I think there was some confusion between dilution ratio
And dilution factor.
And dilution
Yeah,
factor.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's freaking-
So dilution factor is when you're jumping into the division, you're doing all that. Dilution ratio is just pretty simple. So
1 part
10
water, 10 parts water, 1 part.
Yeah, so like a 10 to 1 is just 10 parts water to 1 part solution. Now, meaning 11 parts total, right?
Right.
So for example, if we have 35 ounces here. We're making 33 ounces of product, right?
Yep.
Then I'm doing 3 ounces of product to
Yep.
30 ounces of water, giving us 33.
And we're always going to be better off airing on the side of short, so we have more air in the bottle.
Yeah.
Correct. And that's where you're going to see product going further is when you get towards. But I tell people just for ease of use, fill it up to 33 ounces, fill it up to 35 ounces, however your dilution matches up. And yeah, maybe the first few uses may not last as long as once you get to the halfway mark or once you get to like the third mark. But again, you know, what are you going to do? You're going to fill it up a third, you're going to fill it halfway, just keep doing that over and over again? No,
Right.
you know, just go with it, just pump it up, spray it. You might have to do a couple extra pumps just to supplement it as you're going along. But once you get to that halfway point, you're going to get such a further stream once you start spraying.
Okay, so now, I'm Mr. Baller Obsessed Garage, right? For me to buy a $40 bottle of Adams shampoo doesn't frickin' matter. Because
Okay.
most of the time I get it for free.
Yeah.
And I have an infinite supply. So let's say I'm regular guy. Let's say I'm Matt at 25 years old.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
I'm
With
blowing through
rolling
freaking
your-
Adams
rolling in your
$50 stuff.
Yeah, you got a Civic SI, you're living the life,
But-
got a sound system.
So I'm blowing through all this crap. It doesn't make any sense to me. That's what I was sitting there yelling at the darn thing when I'm halfway through this container in 5 minutes. So how do we fix that?
So how do you fix it? I think it's just I don't want to, bother you and say it's a mental thing, a mental block you have to get past. But it's the idea of, so a lot of people, right, when you're spraying on a product, right, you have a spray bottle, right, you're going
Right. So I use whatever 15 milliliters or 20 milliliters of product in
Correct.
that amount of sprays.
Correct. But at that same point though, you're still, you may not be spraying a ton of product, but the actual coverage of that product is never going to be perfectly even, right?
You get crap all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get like, let's say you get like 80% coverage doing it.
Right.
Yeah,
So
correct.
that's when then you spray an extra 20, and now I've used 40 milliliters of product, in order to try to cover the whole thing.
Yeah, and then then it gets into the whole thing of what's doing more work during the actual cleaning, you physically wiping something or the chemical actually breaking down.
And that's what
whatever you're
intrigues me
spraying.
about the foam is that to answer that question, if I'm spraying with a regular sprayer, the cleaning action is me agitating.
Correct. Yeah.
Most of it is me agitating, and hopefully the chemical's breaking down some of the stuff.
Yeah.
But I'd say it's probably 80-20.
Yeah.
And then that's where lubrication comes into play, and that's why I like certain wheel cleaners over others, because they have a little more lubrication. Like Sonex Full Effect, great product, breaks down the stuff, but it adds zero lubrication, and so in my brand or my styles, to hose it down and then go right to it. So that's why foam intrigues me, is that I get better dwell time and I get even more lubrication from
Yeah.
it, and then hopefully the product does more work.
And the theory is that you're going to use, because you're foaming it, you're using a lower dilution. You're using less product.
Yeah.
So if you're using a spray bottle, it's easy to kill 3 ounces or 40 mils out of one of those spray bottles, just not thinking. But this, you've created a concentrated amount that you're expecting to utilize or use for your purpose.
Tell me how this works, because I'm sure you guys have looked into it. So I take Adam's wheel cleaner.
Okay.
It's whatever dilution it is.
Yeah.
It's concentrated, but it's still diluted. There's water in there. So now I take whatever it is diluted out of the bottle and I dilute it 10-1. So now I have a less effective product, don't I?
Yes and no, because basically, the time you see the product working the most, this is just visually, or what it feels like is happening, is when you start building that froth, right? When you start seeing the suds being built, whether it's by a brush or whether it's by wiping something down, you know what I mean? That's when you feel like something's actually working.
Mhm.
So, in that, I guess in that same mindset, there's also the point of this product is being aerated. It's being, air is forcing it to expand and go further, meaning that it's now foaming. So now is that product actually actively working once it lands on the surface versus spraying it on and letting it dwell straight out of the bottle, right?
Yeah, that'd be an interesting conversation to have with Dave Phillips about how that works. So, if I take a product like Brake Buster that's a certain concentration, it's designed to work a certain way, we aerate it, by foaming it. What does that do to the effectiveness, the dilution of the product? Because we're diluting car soap.
Correct, yeah.
So car soap is designed to be diluted, right? So we're
Yeah.
buying it and it's designed to be diluted down to a certain concentration. So, and that's what also intrigues me about, like the Auto Fanatic wheel cleaner or more concentrated wheel cleaners, is they tell you on the darn bottle, here's what you need to add, here's what water you need to add, so they send it more concentrated.
Yeah.
So I wonder how, how we factor that in, but
But theoretically, it does. It seems like it makes sense, right? The fact that it's forcing air, the fact that it's expanding, the fact that it's going further and giving you more even coverage, regardless of whether you're agitating it not, or, physically, it seems like that makes sense. And so, am I a chemist? No, I'm not a chemist. I don't play one on TV. But at the same time, just like you said right earlier, I feel like foam does a better job. You know, it just whether it's a mental thing or whether it
Well, it's
actually
like the
is
old
doing it.
scrubbing bubbles.
Yeah,
You spray it on,
yeah.
and there are those little dudes, and they're gonna scrub the surface for you as it's coming down.
I love the
That's
scrub
kind of
bubbles.
like what.
I love that stuff.
Well, that's one of the things that's great about like the wet foam on this is that it gives you that dwell time, so the product actually has its time to do its job of actively working and degreasing and cleaning the area of whatever product you're using.
Yeah.
Okay, so that one, we're gonna work on dilutions here in a second. Let's talk about the 9.
Okay.
IK9, a little different setup, right? So we have the tubes. I've got some atoms in here. We've got the tubey things.
Yep.
So I put the orange one in there.
Okay.
Everybody says do the orange one.
Yeah,
Yes.
so you can have a wet foam.
We don't even need those.
Well,
Orange.
you should keep them just in case, you know, one of the tubes starts to deteriorate or anything happens. You do have 2 extra tubes. Don't throw these away, people. Okay.
I probably will, but
Okay.
I don't like keeping stuff in my cabinets. Okay, so the tube is in here.
Use those muscles. I thought you work out.
I didn't go all week. It's bad. All right, so here it is. It's in
Yep.
here. Goes
Yep.
in like that.
Yep. Simple.
Simple. Right? Now, what else? What else am I missing here? Where's the filter in this one?
So the filter is actually,
At the
yep, in the
Okay.
end there. So this is pretty straightforward. Literally, I mean, just shove the tube in. You don't really have to think about it.
It goes down into the solution.
It already bends once you start putting it down in there, and so that just seats right there. Now, these important parts, you don't want to lose these gaskets here, because some people, they'll take these tubes off and,
Clean them, wash them.
they'll clean them, wash them, and they don't realize how many gaskets are actually on this, you know, how many Viton seals are on these sprayers, and they take them apart and they disassemble them because, you know, we tell people, you know, try to take care of them and maintain them, and I get it, but at the same time, they end up doing more damage by losing these things, you know, than actually fixing it. So just go ahead, seat that just like that,
Put it in.
and then this
twist it
right
on.
here, and there's another seal down inside here that most people don't know about, and you're just going to twist that on. So,
Well, I usually recommend when you get it out of the box, make sure everything is tight. That's
Yeah.
like the biggest thing, because that's one of our number one complaints is people will use it and they're like, it's just not
Never
holding
pressurized,
pressurizing.
so I'm saying
Yeah, O-rings there
another
as well.
seal right there.
Yeah.
And so, and that's the thing. I like putting it on piece by piece. You know, like how you just took it off. I could be sitting there trying to twist it, but it's gonna be trying to twist this whole freaking hose. So I'd rather just do this one piece first. Make sure that seal's on there. Plug it in just like that, and then start my thread.
And the hose is the same side on both sides of the lid.
Correct. Yeah. So.
And then we have our pressure release.
Yep.
Yep.
So if I pump it, where I release my pressure, right here.
Yep.
Simple.
And when you
keep
hit
that on.
and when you hit maximum pressure, it'll just burp a little bit.
This thing you pump like 100 times, Kim. You can pump it a lot, I think. Like if you have a little bit of product
I
in.
mean, I think if I remember right, I think the max pressure is like 3.5 bars, or I can't remember what IK said. We had a whole in-depth conversation at SEMA with the IK guys, and Mikkel, who's actually the engineer behind all of this, gave me all this info, and it was a little overwhelming. Like there's so much that goes into these sprayers that you don't realize, because it seems like it's pretty common sense, but he started going off on things, and yeah, let's just say that this canister can actually take up to 6 bars is what it can actually take up to. But they put a regulator in there to where it only gets up to 3.5 bars.
And then it's pressure released here.
Yep.
So that's pretty simple. So then I'm gonna pump it, so now it comes under dilution.
Yep.
Same thing with the nozzle here. Just set it whatever angle you want.
Yep, you're not adjusting that at all.
And again, make sure all those connections on the hose are tight so that you don't have any leaks.
The thing I like about this is I can get in and do the wheel valves.
Correct.
Do the
And that's the benefit, because the thing is when you're on the 1.5, right? You have a tube in there. You have a small hose. Tilt it like that. What is that tube grabbing? Air?
Yeah.
Nothing, right? It's not grabbing anything. And so getting into an engine bay, you can probably do a straight foam. You know, you can change it towards more of a horizontal spray and go like that, but you can't go like this and spray. You can't go into a barrel and go like that. Whereas you can do that with this.
It's just so darn ugly.
Well, you can put stickers on it if you like.
But I will say that they are working on redesigning and making these a little flashier.
Yeah. I can't line it up on my shelf and look at it. I don't want to use any of this crap. I just want to look at it.
I know you do. I know you do.
Okay, so let's dilute something to show me how to do this.
Okay. So what do you want to use? What do you like?
Here's a better example. Let's use something you don't know how to dilute. You gotta figure it out.
Oh,
Come at me, bro.
Show me how hard.
Come
Show me
at
how
me.
to do this.
Track day, bro. Let's do it.
All
Find
right.
something. Stump me. I dare you.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything Well, you haven't done. You haven't used Adam's wheel cleaner, right?
No, I haven't. I've never used it.
Adam's wheel cleaner because this is what I like using. I don't give a crap what wheel cleaner you use. This is what I use.
Okay.
So, do it.
Okay. So you want.
GT3's out here. Show me how to do this.
Okay.
I want this one and that one to work perfectly.
Okay. Where's your? Okay. And that's the thing. I know.
No.
I know you have a measuring cup.
I want freaking water out of. I'll get you a measuring cup, but I want water out of the spigot. I don't want some fancy voodoo water.
No. We're not gonna use any voodoo water.
Boom.
Oh, I was gonna say I didn't even need a measuring cup. I was just gonna eyeball it. But let's just get into this here.
Everybody has a measuring cup from their. I stole it from my wife and in the kitchen.
All right. So getting into this here. So you have your ounces on this side. So you have 15 ounce here. You have 35 ounces, right? So where I'm going is I'm going to 3 ounces. I'm getting this up to 33 ounces total, meaning a 10-to-1 dilution. So I think this is going to be effective. To me, in my opinion,
10-to-1 didn't freaking work. Oh, but that was dilution factor.
Okay.
So I was actually 9-to-1 in your bogus math.
So the thing is this wheel cleaner, we can all agree it's pretty potent stuff. It works, right?
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's good.
It works, right? So, in my opinion, I think 10-to-1 is not only going to get the product further, but I think it's still going to do an effective job because we're coming down to that whole theoretical thing of what's doing more work, the actual cleaner or physically agitating the product, right?
Okay.
So let's get into it.
Okay. So, 10-to-1. So you're going to go. What are you going to fill this up?
You're not even
the
gonna
whole
fill
way?
up the. Why don't you use the?
I don't need to.
I know, but for
Yeah, but this freaking
posterity's
thing doesn't
sake.
even. This is
Okay, all right.
Answer this for me. So this says 0 ounces at clearly not 0 ounces.
I don't really understand. There's Spanish people that made this. I don't understand how they do things in Spain.
So that's why you got to use this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's just do it. Normally eyeball it.
I'm not the only crazy person.
For posterity here. Okay. So my eyes. I'm getting old here. So we're going to a little mark right there above the 2.
What are you doing? 200 ounces or 200 milliliters? What are you doing?
I'm doing 3 ounces. That's it.
Well, those are milliliters. Oh, I see
On
what you're
this side.
saying. I see what you're doing.
Got a little spillage there. Ah, there we go.
So you got 3 ounces of product, and
Yep.
you're gonna do in
1.5.
30 ounces of water. So you're gonna fill up to 33 total ounces.
Correct. Yep. Now.
So we're doing chemistry.
Correct. Now, what I would like. Do you have a spoon?
Out here, no.
You
But
got hoses.
what do you need a spoon for?
You got hoses.
Well, this is where you went wrong. We're gonna stir this thing up. We gotta stir in the product.
Okay.
Where is I need either a
Water
spoon,
here.
a hose. Okay.
Water
You know what? We're using this thing.
Okay. I don't know if it's a freaking spoon. It's the garage.
So what I'm gonna do here. So what I've done here is I've also left myself a couple ounces to where if I do need to add more product, I can.
Okay.
So
you'll add more product if it doesn't foam right.
correct. And so yeah, I give myself a little bit of wiggle room for something I've never tried. And the hard part is we have so many people that buy these things and they say, I'm using this product made by Wizards. Have you used this cleaner? I'm like, no, I have never used that cleaner before. And I tell them,
Well, that's why I want to know how to do this from scratch.
you got to kind of experiment with it a little bit. So stirring it up. Now the main reason why you want to stir it up is because this is more like a gel-like substance versus being pure
Why don't I
liquid.
just put the freaking top on and swish it around a little bit?
Nope, I'm not gonna do that. The reason why is because for any reason, if that product wasn't mixed properly and you have some clumps, especially like Adam's car shampoo, right? That tube inside this thing is only so big, right? That can clog pretty easily. You get product that sticks inside there, it's not gonna work great. I'm not saying sit here and act like you're cooking a pot of stew for 7 hours, like this. We're just gonna stir it a couple times, get it mixed up. Can I set this there?
Yeah. Okay.
Now what we're gonna do,
I did this exact same thing.
and what I do is I put it next to myself and I go, snug it down, okay?
Okay. Now we pump
Yeah.
it 47 times.
No, you didn't get that on there. Okay. Do you want me to just go at it?
Yeah,
Or
I want it to work.
Spray the wheels? Okay. Now, the difference between me and you is you go like this. How many times do I have to pump this? Me, I just get at it. I say, all right, pumping it up, but I'm at max pressure. It can't.
No,
pump
what
up.
I got angry was I pumped it 47 times, got max pressure, and then it's like,
Okay, but remember, you're not sitting here. You were foaming the whole thing like 17 times over. Again, we're
just do it. Just do it.
All right, enough complaining. Here we go. Done. That's all you need.
No, you don't. You need more. I mean, what about the barrel?
Why do you need more? The barrel? Are you getting the barrel with your sprayer?
What?
When you're doing a trigger sprayer,
Heck
how much?
yeah, I am.
Okay. All right. So okay, I did what? 3 more pumps, right?
Okay. Yeah. Good job getting the brake rovers. Good job.
Oh my god.
That's not. Look, I want foam. This is just pea water.
That's
Okay.
wet foam, Matt.
That's wet foam. Do you want us to? Do you want
dry
to
foam?
switch it up? You want to go back to
I want it
standard?
to look like I'm foaming the wheels.
Okay. Oh, okay. Let's go. Okay. Let's come back over here. All right. All right. Doing this on the fly, guys. Let's just get this
But
done.
seriously though, I mean this little thing, I get. In fact, I just had unrealistic expectations that I would be able to.
Foam, just use your foam.
Where's that gray tip?
Right, was right there, right in the bag. He threw it in the garbage.
No, we did it. Yeah. I'll have to go fish it out of the woods again. All right. Okay. Now let's see. Now let's look at this as more of an experimenting thing, right? We saw what kind of foam that produced, right? Let's try the standard and let's see if there's any major difference there.
So I think this is the part that would be necessary that I haven't done yet, which is to just get, just take a couple hours, or an hour out of your afternoon and just start playing. And be willing to blow through a half a gallon of product while you're playing with different dilutions and different systems and different processes.
So okay, and let's just can we point something out really quick? To me, that's enough. That's more than enough product on there to clean the wheel and more than enough lubrication.
So what is the advantage of that? I mean, I could
use that
do
much.
the same frickin' thing right here and not have to do any of this garbage. I can just do this. Right here's the other wheel.
I hate that. Don't do that. What is happening here? Standard tip here. All right,
No, 395.
almost done.
Yes, first console on the left.
Yeah, that's max right there. So standard gray tip. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, that's better.
It's more of
Put it
what.
on there. Show me how long that'll work.
How long you want? Okay.
See, you're getting angry too.
Does this all day long.
He's all day Anthony.
So that extra dilution really helps. That extra, because I had 9 to 1, 9 parts water.
This is Matt's first video with the IK foamer.
It lasted literally that long. Let me go get the pizza. All right, so we switch out to the green tip. Green
Yep.
tip is going to provide.
Dry foam.
Okay. Is it going to work?
We're gonna find out. So we kept the same dilution. This is the same product that you guys have been seeing us spray here. So literally just put the green tip on. See how this works.
Oh, 10 to 1.
10 to 1. Yep.
10 to 1 dilution ratio, not factor.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, see, the green doesn't make as much sense because, I mean, you're almost out of air. And it looks pretty similar.
Looks pretty similar to the standard, in my opinion. And
Yeah.
the standard seemed to go a little bit further than that. So I mean, that would be that. And now to do a supplement pump. But I mean, that's 3 times more product than I would typically use, in my opinion. But you're looking for it to be more foamy than that, correct?
I want it to look like foam when I foam.
So now, okay. So
So
what
that
that
would
tells
come
me
out
is
there.
okay. So what we're at right now, I would say that's about what 20 ounces or so,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
We're at 20 ounces at a 10 to 1 dilution.
So to get more foam, we dilute it more.
We
or
would
less.
to get more foam, I'd probably put more product in. To get more of that, but
But the
the
drawback
trade-off-
in this thing is then it won't spray very long.
and that's where we have to kind of finagle it. So we have to kind of see, all right, so we liked the gray tip, right?
Mhm.
So far. So what it tells me is let's leave this dilution let's add some more product in it. Let's add maybe like an ounce,
Okay.
maybe an ounce and a half,
Yep.
and just see where it sits and change it back to the gray tip to see if we can get more of that snow foam look that we're going for.
Got it.
And let's see how long it lasts for. So going back to the gray tip here, and then I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna add an ounce and a half. Yep.
I'll do a video with you just going to the point of car wash. That's awesome. Here's how you do it right.
Mix this up
I'm
here.
down. Okay, so you added an ounce.
Did about an ounce and a half is what I did. Ounce and a half, switched it back to the gray tip.
So this is how you would figure it out for
This
your
is how-
individual product, is you would just start dancing around, trying to figure out what works.
Yeah, I mean, and then just see what you like. I mean, like the thing is you have a particular thing you're looking for, and that's what we're trying to find, like what's gonna work best for you. I think most people, I think the second they see white foam, they're just gonna say, oh my gosh, it works, right? They're gonna be happy. But for you, let's figure it out. Let's try to dial it in.
Drains are on the agenda for out here. I'm gonna cut this whole concrete slab off. It's a little better.
Better, right? Yeah.
So I wonder what our dilution ratio just went to there.
So we added an ounce. So we had,
We had 3 ounces.
this is math right here that I wasn't prepared to do. Yeah.
You added an ounce and a half. But you added an ounce and a half
To 20 ounces.
20 ounces.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot. Yeah, that would need we need a calculator.
We need it
So
technically.
we probably were like 7 to 1, let's say.
Yeah, like maybe like I would assume like 7 to 1, 8 to 1, yeah.
Yeah.
But that was better than what we wanted, and I still have plenty more. I mean, so you saw me do one full spray. Now let's see how much more I could do.
So clearly, and the other part, the other element, the other variable in this is product. So
Yeah.
I like Adam's wheel cleaner in a spray bottle. I may not like Adam's wheel cleaner in a foamer. That may require us to go and do some different product.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe I would like take XYZ chemical guys,
Yeah.
or whatever. You know, take your McGuire's wheel cleaner. So then I would head down a whole nother rabbit hole of figuring out what's the best wheel cleaner
So-
to put in a foamer.
Brake Buster
Works well.
is pretty. Brake Buster will give you the look that you want, even though I know Adam's Wheel Cleaner gives you that chemical reaction that you're looking for.
I don't want look, I want function.
You want
I
function?
want foam. Otherwise, what's the point? So Adams is not something that I'm going to use in this foamer. It's okay, but that was a lot of work just to get that.
Guys, it
What
was,
can you
it
say?
was like 5 minutes worth of time to get that figured out. So it's like what, like a 7 out of 10, what you're okay with, 6 out of 10?
Yeah, 3 out of 10.
Okay, so maybe worse than what we thought, and that's okay. So,
All right, let's mix up some brake buster. Show me
Yeah.
what that can do.
all right, so I just put water in the IK foamer just to kind of rinse it out a little bit. So when you put water in this, and there's nothing to actually aerate or nothing to atomize, so when you come over here,
I love having a wash bay.
it's just gonna sputter out water, and that's totally normal. So I'm just doing this to clean out the lines and to clean out that filter before I change to the brake buster.
Brake buster.
Brake buster.
Dilution.
So-
You've played with this.
I have played with
So
this.
I'm expecting one shot. You got one chance.
No pressure, right? Yeah, it's just
It's
going
like
for
this is your 8-mile moment.
long spaghetti all over me. Long spaghetti everywhere. All right, we're gonna do the same thing. We're going for that 33 ounces of that 10 to 1 dilution. So we're gonna do 3 ounces of the PNS Brake Buster, fill it up with water. And we're gonna keep the standard gray tip on there since Matt likes that, and we're gonna see what the result is.
You guys didn't think I was cool enough to know that reference, did you? So what are you doing? 3 ounces?
Yeah. So I already cleaned out with water, so this should give us. So I think yours, the first time you did it, was like up to here.
What did I I did 5-to-1.
Dilution factor.
I did 5-to-1.
Let's go to the footage.
I just started with the little insert that you put in the bottle. It's at 5-to-1.
Okay, so let's fill up the water.
So this is another topic of conversation: is this product versus like Adams. So this is lacking the, what is that agent called? Like glycolysis. There's some, it's sodium bicarbonate. I forget what product is added to turn the stuff purple. You know, the iron removing chemical that's designed to break down brake dust. So on carbon ceramic wheels, you know, a product like this is really all that's necessary. This is a non-acid,
Correct.
just almost, it's probably more similar to a car shampoo than it is a typical wheel cleaner.
I think Dave Phillips said it was meant to mimic the effects of wheel acid without actually being acidic.
Right.
So tighten it down a little bit.
Yeah,
So we're at a
thanks.
little over 35 ounces right now. So put a little more water in it than normal.
Great tip.
Great tip. See what happens.
Now, there's foam.
So
That's what foam looks like.
that's what foam looks like. Now, the thing is, that was over 35 ounces, right? Meaning I didn't have enough air to keep it going, right? To give me that longevity I was looking for. But by the time, like I said, that's like the sacrifice. Okay, that one maybe didn't last as long as, you know, previously, right? When I was down to like 20 ounces or so. But I'm okay with that, you know, knowing that I have to do another pump session or so to get the other, you know, 2-3 wheels done.
Got
So, a couple supplement pumps here.
Alright. So yeah, I think the answer is obviously dilution and product. Alright. IK9.
IK9? Alright, what do you want to do next? What product? Just come at me, bro. Come at me with this dilutions. I got it.
So I think we've determined that you know, Adams wheel cleaner isn't a particularly good foaming product. Right? I'm sure we could manipulate it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But you know, I also didn't have very good success with it in the IK9 as well.
Okay.
So let's mix up Brake Buster in the IK9 and see how it goes. So show me how to do that.
Yep, let's do it. Well, I gotta clean out the rest of this one first, and then we'll go from there. So, really quick, I want to point out, so most people that do have the 9, a lot of people use the drain plug on the bottom here to empty it out. And the reason why that's not my favorite way to do it is because on the drain plug down here, there's actually a grommet, a washer in there, that most people end up losing. So they unplug it, rinses out, they lose their washer, they go to put it back on, they're like, oh my gosh, my IK9 is leaking. And I tell them, where's the washer? And they say, there's no washer there. There should be a washer there. So what I typically like to do, depressurize it,
Just pour it out.
pour it out the top. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would have done. Look who dropped by.
Hi.
This guy.
I
No biggie. Just this massive YouTuber just shows up to hang out when we're teaching him how to do wheels.
well, I mean, we probably shouldn't tell them that I live in the woods back there. So
You're in the bubble. You live in the
I live in the bubble. Yeah, that's my home. Get out of my house.
You and this rat and the squirrels, the rats.
Yes.
Up above.
Yes.
Rat gate.
I do like this thing. Is it good? Is it a good car?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Porsche. Good.
Just 3.5. So if we're going 10-to-1, so 3.5. So then we would do whatever that is.
So you do
So
35 ounces,
yeah,
right?
35 ounces of water, in this.
Okay. All right. I know an easy way to do this. So
Dump that in and fill that up to.
No, I'm gonna fill this up to 35 ounces right
Oh,
there,
there you go.
and then just
Smart.
dump that in.
Smart thinking.
There's that. And then grab this
The
guy.
reason why we're doing 35 ounces is because I've been blowing through the product. I have more of this back in the garage, but
Now pumping, right? Me, I mean, I just get after it because I know I'm gonna have to pump it a few times. But the idea is that I'm gonna have to pump it less over the entire wash, because if I do it once, I do it right, I'm not gonna have to keep going.
and so this one will pressure release. That's something I wasn't sure of.
Correct. It will. Yeah. So here we go. So how I do this is I just. So it's getting. I mean, it's pretty much there. I
Yeah,
mean, any
you
minute,
could roll
any
it
minute,
right now.
any minute. That's gonna. Yeah, it's gonna release any second. But I'm just gonna roll with it. So tip is vertical here.
Don't point at your eyeballs when it's loaded. Really in there, orange tip.
Orange tip, yeah. Oh, and this is gonna be tight. This was loose here. So that was there, right? Now, realistically, I could keep it going. I could probably knock out the rest of the other 3 wheels on that one pump session.
Right.
But I mean, if I wanted to supplement some more pumps, you feel the tension on that.
Yeah. Right.
Right, I mean, it's already there. And so I can just, is that foamy enough for you there? More?
It's okay.
That's okay. Okay, he says.
I want this to be like shaving cream. But that's functional. Certainly that is better than what you're getting out of a regular hand spray.
Yeah, correct. And I mean, realistically, I mean, I know that we didn't put a whole lot of product in there to begin with, but I mean, that's how much I have left. And I coated that wheel multiple times.
Right. Now, we did use a half a bottle of product to make this.
We used 6 ounces.
Yeah, 6.5.
So 6.5 ounces. The bottle holds how many ounces? 16 ounces.
Right. So we used.
So I wouldn't say we used half a bottle, Matt. So just
2 ounces short of half.
So, but people are probably curious, how long does this thing spray for? What do you want me to spray where I can keep spraying? A tree?
Sure.
Tree? What about that tree right there?
Just spray the beam right there.
Spray the, okay, come over here. Let's see how long this will keep going for. So off that seam.
I don't think the concern is the longevity of this. The concern is the longevity of the little baby.
Well, fast track this thing here. So yeah, what's it called? Speed it up. All right, it's finally starting to. All right, I think we get the point. And let's see if there's any pressure left. That could have kept going.
I want the IK 1.5 to work like that.
Oh, well.
That's what I wanted.
Well, okay. It's only so big, Matt, I know.
Yeah, I get that.
I mean, not saying size matters here, but.
All right, so what I wanted to do with this video, and this has been part of the process of me discovering how to use these things, and then the big question that I wanted to answer to today was, is it worth, to me, is the result worth the little bit of extra effort you're going to put to learn? You know, to learn to use the thing properly. And so what I'm hearing, what I'm learning about this is that it's product dependent. So when I choose to use a product or spray a product through one of these, there's going to be a little bit of time invested, a little bit of product, maybe 10 ounces of product and some time to invest in using and dialing in what works. Right? So dilution, tip, and then what the application is. So what do I want to do with it? What do I want to accomplish? And what I was hoping to accomplish, the thing that interests me most is my wheel cleaning process. That's why we've been doing trying different wheel cleaners. Is the one disadvantage of using a sprayer on the wheels is that I lack some lubrication. Yeah. And I don't like to get a bucket of soap and water out because wheels are so dirty. Yeah. This has always been my problem with O&R washes. Doing multi-cow, single bucket, rinseless type applications, because how do I deal with the wheels? It's just to me it's much messier, especially if you're dealing with salt and road grime and brake dust and things like that. It's much messier than if I have a hose in my hand and I'm using lots of water and I'm able to kind of spray it out. So this really interests me because of that. The ability to do it. And so I think you answered the question in that, and you saw me kind of frustrated living life. Living life through the process. And I'm sure you experienced the same thing when you started it from the beginning. You got to figure it out. Now, you went into it a little different attitude than I did. I went into it saying, I just want to put this in and have it work. Yeah. And rarely in anything in life does it work out that simply, right? Yeah. And so you and I put some work into playing with different dilutions. And the other thing that that I figured out is that it's product dependent, right?
Mhm.
So certain products aren't going to work as well as others in this
Yeah.
type of thing.
Yeah, and that's one big thing is that, these sprayers, when these sprayers were first released, these sprayers were only released less than 2 years ago. And at the time they were released, that company really focused on agricultural spraying and industrial spraying. So getting into this world of automotive detailing was even new to them. So they knew they had a product that worked, but in terms of, did this company know everything about the detailing chemicals that were out there? No, not necessarily. They knew that all-purpose cleaners would foam, and they knew that car wash soap would foam. But that's kind of where, I would say that I spent the time when I first found these sprayers to sit down with a line of chemicals and try out what worked, to try to get like a general basis of, this is kind of like a guideline and this is what people can use, but ultimately every single chemical is different. And so I just tell people, here's your guideline, but kind of, be willing to move up or down a little bit depending on which product you're using. And it's not a perfect system, but with a little bit of time, I would say, like you said, anywhere from a few ounces of product to maybe 20 to 30 minutes of your time. But once you have that information,
Right.
you have it. You've dialed that in.
Yeah, I figured, I'm sitting here thinking about it, I would guess maybe a dozen washes, adding 10 to 20 minutes of time to a dozen washes with maybe 5 or 6 different products to kind of dial in and figure out what works best. So, to do this, you're going to have a little bit of an investment in time and product. Now, a lot of people, especially guys that are into detailing, will have 4 or 5 wheel cleaners that they've cycled through over the years that you grab off the shelf and try.
Yeah.
And so I think that it is a viable thing. It's what is this thing? $89? What is it?
Yeah.
90, 100. Let's just say $100.
Yeah.
Save $100 into the IK9, and then you have another $100 into some bottles of wheel cleaner. And then maybe some APC and some stuff like that to figure out what works. So the thing that intrigues me or interests me in this would be wheels, engine bays.
Yeah.
Would be the 2 main things that I think I would use this. And if I can figure out a way to make it look pretty on a shelf, then I think it may hold a spot in the old OG wash bay here.
I think that brings me to my question for you. Is like, what would you want to see? Because I know the IK guys pretty well, and we talk regularly, and so, I'm just asking you, what would you want to see? Is it aesthetically, you'd want to see some changes made to these to where they look better, functionally? Like, what would you like to see?
Yeah, I think there needs to be one in between size-wise.
Okay.
I think this whole contraption kind of turns me off. So I got to lug this thing out. I've got the hose and stuff. I don't know, just the way it looks, the way I have to store it, kind of turns me off a bit.
Okay.
So I love these. Like, I love this. I just don't like how it functions. I don't like the fact that I can't get a whole lot out of it. It sprays for 15 seconds or 20 seconds, something like that. So I do like the idea of this, and I love the idea of having, you're gonna have your product. I like to be able to store the product in there longer term and not, not have to deal with all kinds of maintenance if possible.
Yeah.
Maintenance all the time. And so to me, the way I would do it, I'd have APC, I'd have wheel cleaner, or I'd have ONR.
Yeah.
So ONR, I'd have ONR pre-soak. I would have, I don't know, there's a bunch of different stuff. So I'd have 4 or 5 of these with different products. I'd have 4 or 5 of these with different products.
Yeah.
And and I'd line them up and be able to kind of leave them on the shelf, just release the pressure, and be able to use it when necessary. The dilution part of it is kind of funky.
Yeah.
That's the part that turns me off a bit. That I'm going to have to spend quite a bit of time and energy. And the thing that makes me hesitate is I don't dislike the spray bottle experience.
Yeah.
What I like about this is the quality. There's the quality. This is the freaking joke.
Yeah.
I compare that to even this is the best spray bottle in the world.
Yeah. No.
It's junk.
Yeah.
So you just different.
Yeah.
Different quality. This is a plastic $2 part.
Yeah.
This looks like a $50 piece, $60 piece of equipment.
Yeah.
So that is certainly interesting to me.
Yeah, no, and I think most people would agree that that have bought these sprayers is pulling them out of the box. This thing's rock hard. You can't break these things, and so on a shelf, there's no denying that these look good. You can still use the handle here to hang them on things. So if you have like a rod or anything like that, you could hang product on there. And there's several people that have bought the whole, multiples of the IK foams and multiple of the IK multis and put their own labels on it.
So I think I think you can see the struggle in me here is the thing I'm attempting to answer is not something I was looking for.
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't like I woke up one day and said, I need a foamer for my wheel cleaner.
Yeah.
It's like never even occurred to me.
Yeah.
But I see that it exists and I'm like, I kind of want that.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't really want it before until I saw that it was possible. And then when I got it, I had built up in my mind what it would be like.
Yeah.
This expectation, just throw some soap in there, throw some cleaner in there and pump it a couple of times and I could spray the entire wash bay down.
Yeah.
Which just isn't realistic. So you have this inner struggle and I'm not really sure I need it. I kind of want it, but I only want it on my terms, which I haven't clearly defined. And so when you see me and I put the wrong dilution in here and I spray it and it dribbles out in 2 seconds.
Sitting there like, oh my gosh.
You see the struggle. You see the struggle.
Yeah.
But clearly, with the right dilutions, the right energy put into it, you could really make these viable. And so I think it comes down to, do you enjoy the experience? Do you enjoy the added benefits of, foaming down whatever you're cleaning? All right, well, hopefully this is helpful to you guys watching as we as I fumble through this and share the experience of figuring these things out. And then I'll be sure to share as I use it more and as I implement it in the process or not, and share the results. I think you guys get this. Like, I think there's value in, like, for instance, the first time that I used the Sunjo pressure washer.
Yeah.
And I punted the thing out there. And it causes all kinds
like
of
these,
kinds of flack and all kinds of you're the worst human in the world type of thing.
Oh yeah.
But how many times in your life have you done that where you're out in your garage by yourself, there's no camera, and you punted something in the trash, or you said this is no good, or this is junk, or this is stupid, when really you were the stupid one.
Yeah.
But that's part of the process of figuring things out and learning it. And so the process I wanted to show with these things, you guys sent it to me, it didn't work, and then it sort of worked, and now we're dialing in to make it work really well, and I think we're showing it's really not that hard to get it right. You just have to know what to tweak.
Yeah.
And I eventually probably would have figured it out. Again, the question I'm trying to answer for myself is something that I want in my process or not.
Yeah.
I still use 2 buckets, and you do, O&R washes or single buckets, so that it comes down to a lot of the stuff, personal preference. You can make a lot of different things work, a lot of different processes work. So, anyway, thanks.
Cool, man.
Thanks for teaching me.
Yeah, dude, no problem.
And I love the access that I am now given to be able to bring people here and have me teach me crap. It saves me a lot of time of trying to figure stuff out. So that's the IK stuff. Thanks to the guys at the Rag Company for coming out and teaching me how to use the things. We'll continue to play with it and see what products work best, and then add it to the process. I do want to get Auto Fanatics wheel cleaner and throw it in the IK9 and test that product and use it. But we'll be testing more stuff and figuring out dilutions and things to see if this enters the arsenal. But anyway, thanks for watching this, and as always, stay tuned for more crazy. I'm always trying new stuff. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, I didn't need my eardrums anyway.
What happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to keep your foot to the floor, to the floor, to the floor.